Let's head straight into the papers now. We'll begin with the Blueprint newspaper, letting you know what the headlines are. It's talking about palliatives, and it says NEC calls for cut in cost of governance, faults Buhari's cash transfer model. No case cost of living allowance for civil servants, and NEMA to distribute 252,000 metric tons of grains and fertilizer. You see all that on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. From there, let's go to Nigerian News Direct. Nigerian News Direct says subsidy palliatives. NEC discards Buhari's National Social Register, directs states to create new register. Okay, that's what you see. NEC discards Buhari's National Social Register, and the previous register lacked integrity. Vice President Shettima is saying that, and President Tinubu approves infrastructure support funds for states. All right, the federal government to distribute 252,000 metric tons of grains to states. And there is now more money to states, local government councils to share. APC governors is saying they recall that the monies for this month is almost 2 trillion naira, almost 2 trillion naira. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. Let's go to This Nigeria. This Nigeria says conditional cash transfer. NEC discards Buhari's social register over integrity issues. NEC discards Buhari's social register over integrity issues. It says the criteria for compilation unclear and adopts new method of cash transfer. States to come up with registers using formal and informal means. All right, that's what you see on the front page of This Nigeria. From there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. The Punch says is on fuel subsidy. Governors plan cash transfers to poor households. Dump Buhari's list. Governors plan cash transfers to poor households. Dump Buhari's list. And a state to compile new social registers and governors to spend FAC allocations on scheme. All right, Tinubu approves infrastructure fund, and NEC adopts gas-powered vehicles for states. All right, that's what you see on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Daily Trust is next, and it says fuel at 617 naira a litre. Okay, residents desert roads in states. Residents desert roads in states. The workers shun offices. Artisans lament low patronage. States to share palliatives using own register. NEC is saying this. All right, that's what you see on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. And federal government incentives, wicked. Labour union are saying this on the other hand. All right, fine. Kemi, what do you have?
Daily Times is next, and from what I see so far, splash of stories, varying stories, that is, on the Daily Times, it says Rep opens can of worms on CBN's handling of excess crude monies. Rep opens can of worms on CBN's handling of excess crude monies. On First News, it appears another major court drama looms. The big story there is titled Chicago Varsity Records, as President Tinubu moves to block Atiku's fresh petition, files a motion to quash the former vice president's subpoena application before a U.S. court. Of course, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal is winding down with final addresses having been made, and now we're hearing of a looming application by Atiku Abubakar against President Tinubu's presidency. On the leadership, NAS committee's intrigues, horse trading as presidency hijacks process. It says on the leadership, I take again, intrigues, horse trading as presidency is set to hijack process regarding NAS committees. Of course, you will get details when you read this story to be able to put things in a proper perspective. But that's it now. The pending NAS committees there, that paper leadership that is appears to have an update. On Business Day, how Nigeria can move from net food importer to exporter, value addition, national pesticide policy seen as key. That's on Business Day. On Nature News, is this big story which says soldiers arrest more than 1,000 cattle for open grazing on Plateau State farmlands. Soldiers arrest more than 1,000 cattle for open grazing on Plateau State farmlands. And finally, is The Guardian reporting on Hajj 2023 and saying that tears and complaints trail Nigeria's 304 billion naira capital flight to the Holy Land, Mecca. Mike.
Oh, yeah. Well, that story has been getting people to talk. Well, the point is, you know that every year people go on the pilgrimage, not only to Mecca, but also to Jerusalem, so on. And if you calculate how much money goes into there, is a lot of money, but that's not the focus right now. Let's talk about some of these stories that I think most parts of the papers today talk about the conditional cash transfer, especially the register that was used in the last administration. Recall that under former President Buhari's administration, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs was responsible for, distribution of all of those cash transfers, and then the trader money and power, and stuff like that. But especially when they came up with the issue of, giving conditional cash transfer monies to the poorest of the poor, and they said they had a register of the people who were eligible to get that money. But now we're getting to know that it had credibility issues, especially when state governors, local government areas or leadership at that level did not have input into, putting all of these together. Recall that we've always been talking about what are the criteria and how do you capture people who may not necessarily have, the federal government is far there in Abuja. How do you know everyone that is down there at the grassroots to collate this register? Now we're seeing what the reaction is from the NEC.